Welcome to our MSc Advanced Physiotherapy Practice webinar. A warm welcome to you wherever you are in the world and whatever time it is. We are so pleased that you've joined us for this informative session. My name is Hannah Bennett and I'm the Marketing Manager for the School of Health and Life Sciences here at Glasgow Caledonian University. Today, we're also joined by Dr. Artaban Jeldi, who is the Programme Leader for the MSc Advanced Physiotherapy Practice Programme. He'll be delivering a short presentation to give you insight into the programme, followed by an opportunity to ask any questions that you may have. So please feel free to post your questions at any time using the public chat, and we'll do our best to answer as many as we can during the Q&A session, and I'll try and answer as many as I can as we go through the presentation. Just a quick note to say that today's session is being recorded and we'll share the recording and presentation slides with you afterwards, so you'll have everything to refer back to. So I will now hand over to Dr. Jeldi, so thank you.
Hello there. Good afternoon or good evening to you all, whoever's listening in. My name is Artaban Jeldi. I hope the climate is better for you than what it is in Glasgow. We've got a very gloomy day and it's been threatening to rain, and I hope it doesn't because I've got some plans in the evening for the evening. Anyways, so first things first, I'm here to talk about the Advancing Physiotherapy Practice program. I think the people who are listening in are all offer holders, and you've all been offered, or unconditional offers have been given to you with regard to this program. And I'm hoping to see most of you on the 10th of September for the induction. That's when you'll hear me again at length this time with regard to the program. So the purpose of this particular presentation or webinar is for me to kind of give you a short insight about the program. I'm not going to talk in depth about what happens intricately within the program, but I'm just going to give you an overview as to what happens within the program so that you get an insight as to what to expect if you are to join here. And if you are on the edge and still haven't paid your deposits or not planning to, still not decided as to whether to join or not, this may help you make that final decision. So that is kind of main goal for this particular presentation. So with regard to me, I am the program lead, as I said. I've done a PhD in physiotherapy. I'm originally from India, South India, a place called Vellore. And I came here in 2009, did my PhD, and I worked in the NHS for a bit. And then I got into teaching, and I've been in the university for 6 years now. And I've been in this role for 3.5 years now. So that's to do with me. And I'm kind of an MSK specialist. So I do a lot of MSK teaching as well as clinical work. So that's with me. Well, as I said, the session objectives: why do you have to choose physiotherapy at GCU? The first one. The second objective is I just want to give you a brief outline of the structure of the physiotherapy program which we have here, and you'll also know about the support services which we offer at GCU, and all the additional CPD activities which we do, which are available to all students, and also the final thing is the Q&A. So that's kind of the plan for today. So why GCU? I would say GCU is a very good place to study with regard to allied health programs. So as if you're dug into the history of GCU, up until around a few decades back, this was called the Queen's College, and then it changed into GCU University, and it's a post-Russell Group universities. After 92, whichever universities have been established in UK are called the post-Russell Group University. So that's what it is. And it's one of the leading universities in Scotland. And as you can see, it's one of the top 40 universities in the UK. We've got around 22,000 students and around 100 plus nationalities who are registered with us. We got a self-contained city center environment. It's just opposite the bus stand. So it's very difficult to miss, I would say, and very easy to find. And we've got a very inclusive, common values approach, an inclusive approach for all who come in to the programs and into the universities to do their studies, invariable of what program you go into. And there's an affordable living in Scotland, and it's a lot cheaper than London and down south. So you'll find it a bit easier than if you are going down south. So with regard to Scotland as such, you've got a lot of things to see, beautiful place to see. In fact, I've been here for 17 years and I've not been through Scotland as much as I would want to, but I would love to complete the whole tour someday. So we've got the botanical gardens which you see there. We've got the the lighthouse which you see there. You got the Hampden Park Stadium, which is the one of the biggest football stadiums in the UK. You got the Edinburgh Castle, which you also see there. And finally, the Buchanan Street. That's where most of you will be doing your shopping, I believe. So that's what, and there's many more. This is just kind of a highlight of what you can see in Scotland. And with regard to the campus at GCU, with specifically to the Department of Physiotherapy, we are the top for the past 3 years running on different ranking groups as such. We are the top ranked physiotherapy university. And just last week, we got another ranking which shows that physiotherapy was one of the top three for the complete university guide. If you want to go and have a look, you can. And most of our degrees are career focused. And with regard to the physiotherapy degree, that is the master's degree which you are going to get, and it is more research, clinical reasoning, and evidence based focused. So we do not have any placements, but we kind of have a lot more emphasis on clinical reasoning and evidence based. And we've got a multicultural staff, and we've got a award-winning state-of-the-art SIMS facility, simulation facility, which we use here as well, which a few of your students, if you take the right modules, would be able to experience that. We've got an award-winning library. Sir Alex Ferguson. Sir Alex Ferguson is one of our Scottish gems. He was the ex-Manchester United coach, and he's won quite a few awards for himself, and he also helped us build this library, and it's named after him. So we've got that particular library. It's a state-of-the-art library. You've got 24/7 access to it, and so on and so forth. You'll get to know it once you come in here. And with regard to our program, we've got 2 UG programs and 4 PG programs, and one of them is yours, which you are going to join in. And also, we've got world-renowned professors who work within the department. We've got the 4 names you see there. If you Google them, you'll find a lot of information about them. Seb Chaston, the first name there, he is the world leading cited author ever. So that's how famous he is. He does a lot of sedentary behavior activity. Lorna Paul, Professor Lorna Paul, she is an MS specialist, multiple sclerosis specialist, and she's got her own doctoral PhD program running in the university. Dawn Skelton, I don't even have to talk about her. She is an elite researcher working with frailty and older adults and gerontology. And Fred Van Wyck, she is a leading author for stroke, and she's written a lot of books. She's on the WHO panel for stroke as well. I will talk about them in detail when you come for your induction as well, just to kind of give you an insight. So these are the people who would be teaching you and also supervising your program. So that is what you're getting into. With regard to the structure of the program, the MSc Advanced Physiotherapy program, so we've got 3 trimesters. We've got trimester A, trimester B, and trimester C. Each of them run for around 3 months, 10 to 12 weeks, I would say. And for the trimester A, it starts in September, finishes in December. And you've got 2 core modules which you have to complete, and they are 30 credits each. Trimester B is when you will do your optional modules, and those are 30 credit each as well. Or you can take 15 credit modules. In those terms, you need to do 4 15 credit modules. And then you have your dissertation, which is a 60 credit module that is all for the summer months or autumn summer months, that you'll start in May and finish in August. So that's 60 credits. So the optional modules are only chosen once you come into the university. You do not choose them beforehand or when you register. After you come and settle in, we will have another session to explain what these optional modules are, and then you will get an opportunity to choose your optional modules. You do not have to do them right away. So keep that in mind. And I'm going to talk in briefly about these modules as well. So with regard to the Tri-A, the core modules, compulsory modules, are the research methods modules and the advancing professional practice modules. So you start off with these two. Advancing professional practice is very essential. It deals with the four pillars of practice within the NHS, the National Health Service, and also the HCPC. That is to do with the clinical pillar, the leadership pillar, the facilitation of learning pillar, and the research pillar. So we will talk about these four pillars and mainly, and how you can develop your professional practice, not only as a physio, as a general person, as a medical health professional. So that's what we'll be covering there. And research methods is a higher level research, not what you do in your UG. It's a higher level research. You'll have to develop your own protocol, and most of you may use the same protocol to do your dissertation as well. So these are the mandatory modules. And then you go on to the optional modules, which are 30 credits and 15 credits each. So you have a list of modules here, but you need to be aware that not all modules are available for you in trimester B. Only certain modules are available. But this is the list which we share with another program, which is called Advancing Practice program. So on the list, what you see here, you've got Advanced Leadership and Health and Social Care. That's one which you can choose from. You've got clinical investigations, which you may choose from, human movement and MSK analysis. The Army module, that is Advanced Assessment and Management and Illness and Injury, it only runs in Tri-A, but obviously for part-time students who are home students, they may want to choose it. And also you've got certain Tri-B 15 credit modules. All of these are available for you to choose from if you would like to. Okay. Uh, a typical program would look like this. The Tri-B optional module program would look like this. These are the ones which we advertised the last time, and this is the same modules which will be advertised this year as well. They are the Advancing MSK Practice, 60 slots, Advancing Practice in Neurological Rehabilitation, 60 slots. Those slots are subject to change depending on the numbers. So arbitrarily, those are the numbers which we usually offer. And then we've got Human Movement and MSK Rehab Analysis, that is 30 slots. And this one again is research oriented, not clinical oriented. And then we've got leadership module, which is 40. And then we've got the 15 credit modules. So you've got three pairings of the 15 credit modules, which you see there. You can choose any one combination or any two combinations if you'd like. Okay. So that is what you would be offered for trimester B. And we will give you some more information when you join in to explain a little better as to which would suit your uh, which will suit your career academics as well. Uh, as a rule of thumb, I think the first four modules are the most common modules which students choose. The most commonest modules are the MSK and the neurological rehabilitation modules, and leadership and MS and human movement analysis. The biomechanics module is also well liked, but less chosen than the first two modules. So this is the format, and we've got a special diabetic based module as well, because when you come from the internationally from Nigeria, India, Pakistan, you see a lot of diabetes patients coming through. And I think that's something which the universities and also the hospitals and the contacts which we have from India, Pakistan, Nigeria have already said that these are the kind of modules which they would like to learn from. So that is the reason why we introduced them. And that's also quite an attractive module. Then going on to the next slide, the dissertation, which is usually either qualitative or a quantitative study. And we usually do a structured literature review or empirical study. Empirical studies are very, very rare because of the time constraint you have. So most, or in fact, all of our students go into doing a structured literature review or a systematic review equivalent to it. And the topic of choice is yours. Usually, you, as I said, you will do the same in your ARM and then forward that into your dissertation, and you are expected to do a 6,000 word write-up along with a 10-minute presentation of your dissertation. And your dissertation will your module lead will be selecting your dissertation supervisor based on your interest. That is with regard to dissertation. It's a compulsory module. You need to pass this. Okay. And going on to the next slide, we've got these are the study option or the exit options which you'd get. So if you finish with 60 credits on the whole, you'll go out to the PG certificate. Finish with 120 credits, you go out with the PG diploma, but most of you would go out with an MSc, Advancing Physiotherapy Practice, that is 180 credits. So in fact, all of you will be doing that. Okay. And remember, to gain this particular module, the core subjects have to be passed. That is your ARM, APP, as well as dissertation. And to do your dissertation, it's mandatory that you clear your ARM. Without that, you cannot do your dissertation. Okay. So that is some information about the program. An important, very important note is for all of you to know is there are no clinical placements in this module. Very, very rarely in the UK you'll find post-registration masters allowing or advertising clinical placements. It's very rare. So that is one thing which you need to understand, because that is the primary question which I keep getting asked every single year. Um, this is the exit. I've already told you about the other exit options. And with regard to continuing development opportunities, we get guest speakers from the NHS, from other independent sectors coming in and talking to us. We have a three session CPT program which we actually offer. That is, one is to do with applying for jobs in Scotland or in the UK and how to go about doing that. We kind of train students with regard to the interview skills and SOP writing and so on. HCPC application guidance also is something which we touch upon. I will be doing that. It's not that we are affiliated with the HCPC in any way, or we are kind of brokers for HCPC, if you know what I mean. We do not do that. It's just that we help you guide through the process, let you know which is the quickest way, which is the more efficient way to do it. So that is with HCPC. And also there are three departments here, the career development department, the LDC department, as well as the librarians. They have specific sessions which are designed to help you improve your academic writing, to improve your research knowledge, to help you navigate through your career as well. And locally, we do conduct journal clubs as well every trimester, B or C, depending on the availability of staff. We do have journal clubs which will help you navigate your dissertation module. So these are the additional continuing professional development opportunities. The guest speakers who come to talk from the NHS, these talks are very good, very useful, and they give you an insight as to what to expect within a working environment in the NHS. So that's helpful as well. Student support, we've got several student support systems, as in the personal tutor system. We've got, as I said, the GCU library sessions, the library, as well as the award-winning Learning and Development Center. Student Wellbeing team is there. Student Association is there. We've got a lot of student-based activities which happen here. We've got clubs which they run, like football clubs, volleyball clubs, basketball, cricket clubs, so on and so forth. Also, we've got a GCU Student Society, Physiotherapy Society, which is run by the students. They have special courses as well, which they partake through the year, which you are eligible or which you are entitled to join in if you want to as well. And obviously the library. So this is in a nutshell. I will be explaining more about these when it comes to the induction, and we will give you an insight about how to join in these clubs and so on and so forth. So this is just kind of a little brief taster for you, if you know what I mean. So finally, that's to do with GCU. And the most important thing is question answer session. So I'm open to answer any questions you may be having, please. You can use the chat function if you want to type your questions in, or if you want to use the mic, you can use the same and ask me questions as well. It's either is very clear as to what I've just said, or you guys are well prepared to join GCU. It's one of them, since you don't have any questions for me. Good evening, Amrita. Is there any pediatric optional modules? I'm afraid no, Amrita, we do not have a pediatric based module. However, The neuro module, the APNR module, has certain pediatric components covered in them as well. The neurology module, I mean. So we do not have a specific pediatric module. We haven't developed one. It's in the process, but it won't be useful for you for this year. We are planning to do one for the upcoming years, but not this year. I'm sorry. I hope that answers your question, Amrita. Good evening. Choosing optional modules is completely up to students, or university will guide us. It's partly. We will give you the information as to what these optional modules are about, and it is purely your choice. You need to choose them. However, because of the constraint of numbers, it'll be a first come first serve basis. So it will be that myself, I would release something called an MS forms for you with all the lists on it, and there's kind of a week's time before which you need to choose your modules. For example, if there are only 60 students joining in and all 60 want to do MSK, well and good. But if there are 80 students joining in and all 80 want to do MSK, but there are only 60 slots, the first 60 would get the option to doing that MSK, right? So I will explain this better when you come and join in. However, it's purely your choice, and you need to be a bit diligent and vigilant when you do these optional modules. You will get all the information you require, and only then will the optional module start. The choosing date will start after you get all the information. So based on that informed decision, you have the right to choose what modules, but you need to be quick. You need to decide as to what you want to choose and be very diligent and vigilant in choosing them as quickly as possible. So that is what we would expect you to do. So that should answer your question. I hope that answers your question. I thought there was another question which popped in and it's been deleted, I guess. Is that clear, Amina, Khalid? Thank you. By when should you arrive for the course? As soon as possible. As soon as your CAS is issued, as soon as you buy your tickets. Your induction is on the 10th of September, and I would expect to see you all on the 10th of September. So that is when your unofficial first date is on the induction. Official first date is on the induction, but you will have a wee bit before that as an international freshers welcome, which is maybe for 3 or 4 days, and that's the week which you have your induction as well. So it's on a 10th is a Wednesday, I think. 9th, 8th is when the International Freshers Welcome starts. So you are expected to be here on the 8th. And the very next week is your week one of your trimester A. So, as the latest, you should be here by the 15th of September. That is your first day, first session. Is that clear, Pradnya, Ingali? So the number of students for the September intake, I would not know right now, Amina, because that depends on how many deposits have been paid and so on. There are other intricacies behind it. So I will only get the final list a couple of weeks before you guys start. So on an average, we've had 123 3 years back, 94 2 years back, 90 last year, and this year I'm expecting around 80 on an average, but it can be lesser than that. And with regard to your second question, dividing according to the modules, it all depends on what modules the students choose. So I don't have a say in it as well. So as you know, as I just put up the slides, so it's like 60 for MSK, 60 for neuro, 40 for 30 for biomechanics, and 40 for leadership. Those are the main modules. So you need to do choose two. You need to choose two modules. It depends on what all you choose, and also we've got the shorter modules as well. So it all depends on how it gets together. So it's very difficult to answer that question, and we do not divide students according to the modules. You guys divide yourself according to the modules which you choose. It's not within our hands. I hope that answers your question. It's a tricky question to answer, but I hope I've answered it to the best of my ability. No, Sejal, this is not an undergraduate program. This is a postgraduate program. You are all physiotherapists who are joining in. You're not trainee physiotherapists. You are actually physiotherapists who are actually working and are able to treat your own patients. So we do not have any internships as such, which are advertised here. So the you can do observerships, but it is your own responsibility to find one. After you come here, you need to contact hospitals or practice clinics, and if they allow you, you can go on, but it's only for a day or two. So it's more to do with your own effort, not us. And there are no opportunities. Campus is a educational campus. It's not a hospital. So it's not a kind of a teaching hospital like what you find in India and Pakistan. It's a university where only academic stuff happens. We do not have affiliated hospitals to this. Okay, we have university hospitals, but they have their own placements, which are only for training physiotherapists, not trained physiotherapists like you guys. I hope that answers your question, Sejal. With regard to the same question, with an internship and some amount of clinical practice, the clinical based modules like the neuro rehab and the MSK module and the diabetic modules do have a certain amount of practical aspects embedded within the module. So you will be doing some amount of practicals within the module, but it is not patient oriented. It's basically how you will do it in a class. And we will give you case study scenarios. We will teach you, go through them. We will teach you some techniques as to what is there. But since you're already trained physios, it will not be new for you. It will be the way it's done in this country. Okay. But we will be doing it at an advanced level. That's what we'll be doing. So that is something which may help you, but it will not be as good as uh, going into a hospital to treat patients. That's not what it is all about. It's about practicals within your classes. Any more questions?
Hello.
Hello
Hi.
there.
I just thought I would come in. I just want to see if there's one last call for any final questions just before we kind of wrap everything up here. So if you have any further questions, if you just want to put them into the chat and we can answer them. Okay, so that looks like all the questions for now. So thank you again to everybody who has submitted them. I just want to say a huge thank you to Dr. Jeldi for such an insightful presentation and for answering all of your questions so thoroughly there. As mentioned previously, the session has been recorded and it will be emailed to all attendees along with a link to the presentation slides. Oops, sorry, I've just seen
Yes,
one more question come in through here, so
that's
I'll go away
that's
and I'll let you
correct.
answer.
That's correct, Amina. You're right. 60 credit research project. Every student will have their own supervisor. There are batches like 4 students will get a single supervisor, but you get one-to-one with the same supervisor, and that is correct. You will have your own per se supervisor. And you also last comment. You see my email ID here, so you can use that to email me if you have any further questions, and I'm happy to answer them.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. So, yep, if you've got any further questions, please reach out to Dr. Jeldi, or you can email us as well at inquiries@gcu.ac.uk, and we're happy to help as well. So, hopefully, we will see you in September for your induction, where you'll get to meet Dr. Jeldi and the rest of the team in person. Dr. Jeldi, would you like to say a few final words before we wrap
Well,
up?
thank you all for coming, and I hope you're looking forward to joining us. I'm, in fact, looking forward to the new students. I love my students, so I can guarantee you that you will not be disappointed. You will have a really enjoyable time here, and you will be going out with a enlightened degree. Scotland is a place for enlightenment, so I'm pretty sure you'd all be enlightened. So thank you all for coming, and please reach out to me if you have to, and encourage other students who haven't paid deposits to pay them as well. All right. Thank you.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.